Hello everyone and welcome. In today's video, I'm going to do an extensive review of the LearnDash learning management system. Now, this review is very important because I'm going to cover one of the most important keys that you need to be aware of, and this is what themes you need to use with this, because although it supports any theme, there are things that you need to be aware of because the layout may not look beautiful depending on what theme you use. So I'll also be doing some suggestions. I'll also be talking about plugins that I think work well with LearnDash. So without wasting a lot of time, let's get started with the review. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just give you an idea of which plugins I used. So first of all, I used Astra Pro with Astra, the Divi Builder, and the LearnDash LMS. Now the license I went with also gave me the LearnDash Pro panel, and I'll also explain why it is important to have this later on in the review. Okay, so now that we have all this set up, let's see how easy it is to set up a course on LearnDash. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is once you install these plugins, you'll notice that you'll have an entry right here on the left, so you can go straight to courses. So let's go ahead and create a brand new course. So I'm going to click on add new. So let's just call this course my course. Okay, so over here you can give this course your description. So I am just going to copy this lorem text and paste it here like that. Right, so next I'm going to come over here. Now it depends, if you want to allow comments on this page you can, but in my case I recommend that you don't, because this page is just a page which describes the course. Okay, so moving on, over here on the course materials, this is where you can enter your course materials, and then further down you have your course price type. So this is where you can say, right, this course is open or it's closed, it's free, you can buy now, or it's a recurring payment. So if you want to choose buy now, you can go ahead and do that, add your price. So let's say the price is $49, and then the access list, you can add that if you want. Now, if at any point you're not sure what these things are, you can just come over here to this question mark, and this will give you an idea of what this is. So in this case, this field is auto-populated with the user IDs of those who have access to this course. So you can actually specify who you need to give access to this particular course. And I think this is a very good feature. Okay, so further down here, you can sort this lesson by, and then you can add your date over here. And then over here, I mean, these things are self-explanatory. You can enable course prerequisites. And this is also good because let's say you have a course which requires specific or previous or some courses that you have on your website, you can add that as a prerequisite. So they would go start working on that course and then come on to this main course. Okay, great. So moving on, I'm just going to leave this as it is for now, unchecked. And then over here, you can also enable points. So as people go through the course, you can give them points as they complete certain lessons. Okay, so now over here, you can also add the expiration date, and also you can hide the course table. Now, sometimes there may be a situation where you don't want anyone to see the list of topics or lessons on that course page. So you can always come here and disable that. And I will also demonstrate that as we continue with this review. And then finally here, and I think this is very important, you can also add the certificate if someone completes this course. Okay, now let's come over here now to the bottom, and this is one of the most important features which I think LearnDash has, and I really love this really latest update to the course builder. So let's go ahead and add some lessons to this course that we've just created. Okay, so what I can do here is I can just publish this for now, and then I'm going to start adding my lesson. So over here to add my lesson, all I have to do is to click this plus button, and then I can give my lesson a title. So let's call this lesson 1. I'm going to press that check mark, and then over here, when you hover over this little icon, the hamburger icon, it gives you options. So this option here with the pencil allows you to add more content in this. So in my case, I am going to add a video, and this is just a video from my YouTube channel. So I'm going to paste my video in here like that. Then I'm going to go to the text view because I need space to add all my text. So let's say this is the description that goes with my lesson. I'm going to paste it in here. Now here we have an option to allow comments, and I think it's very important to allow comments on this page because you want some feedback as you're building your website. Okay, and then further down here we have even more things that we can add. So here we have lesson material. So this is where you can say for you to progress with your lesson, you need to download, let's say a specific thing from a different website, or it could be downloads which are on your website itself. So this is where you can direct all your users to those lesson materials. And then over here, now this is very, very important. As you're creating your lessons, you need to associate your lesson with the actual course. So this is where you want to click this drop down, and because we have one course on there called My Course, you associate that with this. So this is going to work perfectly now. And then here we also have more features like forced lesson timer. So let's say you want the timer to run for, let's say, 2 minutes for them to complete that lesson. You can always add that over here. And then as I continue along here, they can upload an assignment. So you can add that option over here. But I'm just going to keep it simple for this demo. And then over here, we can also specify a date to show this course. So here you can specify the date you need, whatever month, day, and so on. Okay, and also this feature here is very, very important because this enables video progression. So your student will not be able to skip the videos as they're going through the course. After the first video plays, automatically the next one comes on, and then they start watching the next one. So I think this is a feature that you may want to include in your course. Okay, so now that we've covered all this information here, let's take a look at what's happening here on the right side. So here you can add your featured image for your course. So I'm just going to take a look here and see what images I have. So I'm just going to click this random image and set it as my featured image. Now you can also give your lesson some tags. So you can add that there, but I don't normally use that, to be honest. And then over here, all you need to do now that I've added this lesson is to click on update. Now, here's the thing. Although I've clicked update, it doesn't mean that that lesson is now public, okay? Let me go back and show you over here how that's working. So here I have my lesson 1. In order for this lesson to be public, what I need to do is to drag it over here, okay? And this may seem like a very weird way of working, but let me just do this and then show you how that works. So I've just dragged this over here. That's my lesson 1. Now, if you notice what happened here is now we have lesson 1 crossed out. Now, I'll tell you a quick story. When I started using LearnDash before they added this course builder, it was a headache because I had to list all my lessons on a piece of paper. So every time I completed my lesson, I would physically, cross it out on my piece of paper because it's confusing to see what's done and what's not done. So now you can visually see what you've completed and what you haven't completed. So again, if you want to add another one, you click this plus button, and then this one is lesson 2. So I'm just adding a second one here because I just want to show you the next part because that part needs these 2 lessons. So again, as before, I'm just going to come in here, add my video. I'm just going to add the same video and the same description text. Now let's do a quick preview of lesson 2. So I'm going to click on view post. This is our featured image. So as you can see here, this doesn't look really brilliant with the featured image, but you have an option to go in and remove that featured image. So let's go ahead and do that. So if I remove this featured image, click on update, all you're going to have now is your video and your description for that lesson. So I think this is a better way of actually showing this. Now we have a bit of a problem here. What about the sidebar? Because ideally you want people to be able to see over here on the sidebar how they can access the next lesson and so on. So this is where now I chose Astra, because with Astra you can always come over here to the right and specify that custom layout. So I could say here, sidebar setting. I can add my sidebar to the right like that. Okay, so let's click update. Now, if I view the post, we should see a sidebar, and there it is. Okay, so that's looking brilliant, but of course we need to go in and specify what we need on the sidebar, and that we can do easily by going to our widget area. Right, so now that we have our course, let's take a look at the course itself, how it shows on our page. So I'm just going to click here, and this is our course page. So again, it's showing our lessons here. So if I click on lesson 2 or lesson 1, it'll take me to that lesson. Now, here's one thing that I really like about LearnDash. Now you can see here, these are not in order. We have lesson 2 on the top and lesson 1 on the bottom. So that's not the layout that we need. So to fix that, you just drag these lessons. So let me show you how to do that. So if you come over here on edit course, you can see here lesson 2 is on the top and lesson 1 is on the bottom. So you just drag this onto the top, click update. Okay, so that sorts it out. And over here on the left, the ones that you've added here live are crossed out. So even if you have 20 lessons here, it's very easy for you to see what has been added onto the actual site. And then the order as well is done by just dragging this in order. Now, before you had to come over here and make sure that each and every lesson has its order number, and then you had to select order itself. So you can see here the sort lesson direction. You could either set it for ascending or descending. So now we don't need to worry about that because that was a headache for me, to be honest. So all that is here now. Okay, so now that I've clicked update, now let's take a look at this and see if it's looking much better. And by the way, I can see here that this page I haven't added an image, so you may want to add an image or even a welcome video or to talk about the course. So let me just add my featured image here, like that. So this is our course. Now let's take a look at the course page, like that. Okay, so now we have an image for the course. Over here we have the course description. It also tells you whether you've started it or not. And then over here, the course content, we have lesson 1, lesson 2. Now we have the right order because I dragged them. Okay, so now let's say I click on lesson 2. This will take me to lesson 2, and you can see here my video is there and everything is showing correctly. So that's how easy it is to set up a course and also add lessons to it. Okay, so now that I've shown you how easy it is to set up a lesson and also a course, let's talk about themes. Now, out of the box, LearnDash works pretty much with any theme out there, but there are some themes that don't really give you a good layout, and let me show you what I mean by this. So right now you can see this is our course page on Astra. Now let's take a look here at a default WordPress theme. So this is the theme I'm using my plugin, my LearnDash plugin with. So as you can see here, same thing. I've added my featured image, but here now I'm forced to have a sidebar which I can't do anything about. And to show you that, let me just go into edit the course. So over here, there's nothing I can do to remove that sidebar, right? So I'm just gonna go back. So that's gonna be there and I can't do anything about it. If we take a look at what's happening here with Astra, I can actually click on edit course. I can choose not to have the right sidebar. So I can say no sidebar. I can disable the primary header, disable the title if I wanted to, and so on. So I have more items that I can play around with here in order for me to have the page the way I want it. So if I click update, you'll notice that our page is going to look totally different. Okay, so I'm going to view the course. And now you can see that my course has this large image, which is fantastic. And I have my description, but this time I don't have destructing sidebars. So this is why I really recommend that you use LearnDash with Astra theme. And I use Astra Pro because I also go with the extra features. And by the way, if you want to buy Astra, I have a link in the show notes below. So I'll appreciate if you use my affiliate link to buy Astra. Okay, so now that we've covered the themes, let's talk about the Pro panel. Now the Pro panel is fantastic because it gives you some reporting for your students on your website, and you can also do some quick features like sending specific emails to a group of people on your website. So this is really good. Now this Pro panel does not come with the basic license. So as you can see here, the basic license is $159, but it does not include the Pro panel. So what I've done is looking at the price here, the price difference here is very minimal. So I just went with the $189, and this allows me to install this on 10 sites, and it also includes the Pro panel. So let's take a look at the Pro panel, and let me show you what it does. So my demo here is going to be on a live website, which is my WP User TV. And if you haven't signed up for the WordPress course, I really recommend that you sign up for that course, because it's free and you learn everything that you need to know in WordPress. So this is the Pro panel. So pretty much it gives you an idea of what's happening on your website. So I can see here Big Man has was signed in today 5 hours ago, and they've just completed 15 out of 19 steps, or in this case 15 out of 19 lessons. So this gives me just a snapshot of what's going on, but there's more that we can do with this. So over here it tells me the total number of students, my courses. So Pro panel filtering, I can actually come in here and say, right, okay, I need to send an email, but this email needs to go to my WordPress Mastery course students. I can say all users here. And then on the status here, I can choose in progress or completed. So let's say you want to send emails to people that have completed the actual course. You can actually do this by just coming over here. But if you want to choose in progress, you can do that, and then you can click on filter. Okay, so now we can see here with these graphs, and this is amazing because this gives you a visual representation of what's really going on in your site. So here I can see that this is the breakdown, the course distribution. I can see not started, in progress, completed. So only 5 people completed out of 236. Not started, 50 of them haven't started. So I can actually go in and send a specific email to those 50 people by just coming over here to email, and then I can just, write my subject, my message, and then click send. So this is one of the biggest features that I really like about the Pro panel, besides just giving you the reporting. Okay, so this is one thing that I think is fantastic about LearnDash. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about the membership. So by default, LearnDash has like an inbuilt membership, but it's not very visible. You can't really do a lot of customizations as you would if you're using, like, let's say, a fully featured membership plugin. So for example, if you set this up as a paid course, it's only those that have signed up for the course have access to that course. But if they're not signed up, they won't have access to that course. So it automatically protects that course for you. However, having said that, the way I would use this is to use a fully fledged membership plugin like MemberPress. In fact, that's what I use. I use MemberPress for mine because it gives you way more options, and, like, for example, sending emails, reminders, and a lot more features. So that's what I would use that with my learning management system. Now, they also have an integration, which means this will work very well because they have an integration between LearnDash and MemberPress. So that works very, very well. And that's what I use in my situation. So that's something that you may want to consider. I know by doing that, you're adding another cost to it, but at the end of the day, if your website is giving you enough money, that's good enough reason to have a solid foundation and use this with a proper membership plugin. Okay, so let's move on with the payments. Now, does LearnDash take payments? Yes, it does, but you need to add these plugins. So let me show you where these plugins are. So if I come back over here to my dashboard and come over here to LearnDash, if I click on add-ons, it gives us all the add-ons that we can use with LearnDash. So you can see here we have the course grid, Restrict Pro, and this is a plugin that restricts your content. So this is something that works well because it's like these plugins are well integrated into LearnDash. So you can go ahead and use these. Now, we won't go in one by one and discuss what each one of these does. But again, as I mentioned, MemberPress is right here. So you can just click install, and that just, connects, and you can have your users use this in a much easier way. In terms of payments, this also integrates with WooCommerce, so you can use this with WooCommerce or even Stripe or 2CO to check out to LearnDash. So again, there are several options that you can use for your payment systems. So this is, I think, very, very good. Now, having said all that, are there things that I think LearnDash can improve? Absolutely. Now, what I would like is some easier customizations to how your page looks. So let me show you what I mean. So if I come over here to my course page, there is no option really to go in and change how this looks. Ideally, I would like to have, let's say, a dark background and play around with my colors that match with my branding. But at the moment, you would have to go in and do a lot of customizations via CSS. And I'm not saying this cannot be done using CSS, but I'm just saying that for, let's say, beginners out there that want to customize their website easier, it would be nice if you can go in and make those adjustments and change the colors of this course content. Okay, so the last thing I want to talk about here is the settings of LearnDash. So if I come over here to LearnDash and you go all the way down here to settings, you can see here there's these tabs which you need to be aware of as you're using your plugin. So first of all here, auto enroll, you can set this the way you want. You can also set the registered course per page and so on. And then over here, you can also add your custom labels for your course, your lessons, PayPal settings. This is where you get to add your PayPal email address. And this then now takes the payments for the courses that you require payment for. And then the final two tabs are your LMS license and your Pro Panel license. As I mentioned, this you can get from your dashboard once you've purchased LearnDash. Now let's take a look at also some further options. So if I come over here to courses, we also have more options here for the courses. For example, you have course shortcodes. And these shortcodes are fantastic. Then let me show you how they would work. So let's say you want to have a lesson list. You'd use this shortcode right here. And just to show you what that looks like, I have an example that I have on a live website. So if I come over here to my website, you can see over here to the right, you have your list. So as you're going through the course and you click to the next lesson and you've completed it and you've marked it as complete, over here to the right, this is your list of your lessons, and the courses that you've completed will have this line crossing them. So that will just give you a visual idea that you've completed it. And then over here on the top, you also have this progress bar. Again, that is a shortcode. So you can really customize the website the way you want it. So my overall view of LearnDash is it is a very, very good plugin. So if you want to really create a website that hosts your own courses, in my opinion, LearnDash is the way to go. Now, I'm not being paid to say this, and I'm also not an affiliate of LearnDash. So this is just my opinion. As you can see, I've actually used this plugin for 2 of my websites. It's also on Divi University. And by the way, if you want to learn how to design websites using Divi, I would recommend that you click the link below and take on that course. So that's my review. So thank you very much for watching and see you in the next one.